Sande Charles with FanRag Sports, joined by Astros beat writer of the Houston Chronicle, Jake Kaplan. Okay, Jake, Astros super busy pre-winter meetings. Are they done?
Probably, in all likelihood. I don't even know why they're going to show up this week. No, I mean, I think they're going to continue to explore avenues to get better in their rotation. But given the price of acquiring a Chris Sale or a Chris Archer and Jose Quintana, those type of guys is so high. There's a chance that their biggest moves are behind them. A good chance, I would say. They still have some things to acquire. They need a left-handed reliever. They need some minor parts here and there. But for all intents and purposes, I think they're done.
Now, the Astros signed Carlos Beltre. Are the Astros fans ready to forgive him?
You don't have to ask them. I think some on Twitter, one guy to me said, I'm going to boo him the first time, and then after that we'll be good. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see come April when they home opener against the Mariners. I think ultimately they'll be okay. I mean, he picked them over the rest of the league, and $16 million, and I think he's going to be a huge acquisition for them in the clubhouse, especially on the field too. He's still a very good player, an impact player, but in the clubhouse they have a lot of young players, and he'll be a big influence on George Springer, Carlos Correa, and Alex Bregman, and all those guys.
Now, where do you see him in the lineup?
Probably in the 4 to 6 range, but probably more 5 or 6. You figure Springer, Alex Bregman, Altuve, and Correa are your top 4, and then Beltre gives you the switch hit ability as number 5. So I'd say probably 5th, but they're going to have a lot of different lineup options given they're a lot deeper than they were last year, and some guys might get days off in some days, and maybe he jumps up to 4th or drops to 6th or 7th. So I don't know if they're going to have a set lineup, to be honest with you. They might not be able to with all the depth they have.
Now, talking about the depth and so much power on the offense, but touch a little on the pitching. Where do they need to fill in there?
They would like every team, another frontline starter to kind of pair with Dallas Keuchel and Lance McCullers, who are both coming off injuries, and so there's the health question there. But like I said earlier, it's really hard to acquire those guys. Maybe you look back and they should have done that last year when there were some guys in the starting pitching market, Johnny Cueto and Jordan Zimmerman, those guys, because there's no one really out there for them this year, and to trade a guy, you're going to have to give up a guy like Bregman or subtract from your major league team, and they don't want to do that. So it'll be interesting to see how they address, and if they address, the rotation in any way. They signed Charlie Morton as a kind of a bounce back candidate, but he's more of a 4 or 5. So the rotation is definitely going to be their big question mark coming in the spring, I think.
Now, you touched on Dallas Keuchel. Is this year, is he going to rebound? And what's his status on World Baseball Classic?
I'd be surprised if the Astros let him play in that. I know he's interested in Team USA. I don't know if he's on their provisional roster or not. I haven't seen their roster. But coming off an injury, that's for a pitcher especially. I'd be surprised if he played. They haven't really said much about that yet. In terms of bouncing back, I mean, it could be the key to their season. Him and Lance McCullers bouncing back after injuries, and Keuchel bouncing back after a down year. A full off season, he's healthy. I think the workload of 2 years ago really came into effect last year, and so that won't be an excuse the following year, obviously. And it's a huge year for him.
Now, the Astros may be the favorite in the West. Is A.J. Hinch up for the challenge?
I think so. You'd have to ask him. Is he here yet? I don't know.
Where is he?
I mean, I think the players like playing for him, and now he's got some veterans to help lead the clubhouse a little bit more. Like I said, they're really young, and so now they have Josh Reddick and Brian McCann and Carlos Beltre to help lead there. So it'll be a really interesting season. I mean, they're kind of in a little bit similar to the 2015 Blue Jays, who are going to try to outslug everyone. Their pitching's not quite on the par with some other teams, but they might score the most runs in baseball, or top 3 at the very least. So.
Thank you so much, Jake.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Jake Kaplan, Sande Charles with FanRag Sports.